Hi, and welcome to another edition of Jim on the Air. I'm Jim Siriani, your host. Thank you so much for joining us in this edition of the show. As many of you may know, if you've been following the show the last couple of episodes or so, we've dedicated the show to the Reemerge Dance Festival, which is being presented by Center Stage Theater. The Reemerge Dance Festival is a way to celebrate the reopening of theater all across the the fruited plain, if you will. But the chance to be able to finally have live performers and live audience in the same building at the same time after a whole year and a half or so of the pandemic and the coronavirus. And so it's a wonderful celebration to be able to go back to the theater and actually perform for an audience. And so that's the pretty much the idea behind the Reemerge Dance Festival. Again, it's at Center Stage Theater, and it takes place June 17th through the 20th. And you can get tickets online at the Center Stage website, centerstagetheater.org. Again, that's centerstagetheater.org, and you can reserve your tickets. You can also click on the blog tab on the website, and all the information about all the performers, the various studios and dancers and choreographers that are involved with the festival are on the blog. And you just click on the blog tab there on the main page, centerstagetheater.org, and you can learn all about everything before you go to the festival. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and everyone's looking forward to it. My guest for this time around is Delila Moseley. She is one of the faculty members in the dance department there at UCSB. And she and her students have put together a film, UCSB Dance Company in Flight and on Film. And of course, she's got a lot of other projects as well. And I'd just like to welcome to the show, Delila Moseley. Delila, welcome to Jim on the Air. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, we are absolutely thrilled to be talking to you and to be looking forward to the performance.
Nice, nice. So let me ask you, Delila, tell me a little bit about your path as an artist. What led you to dance? How did you get started in dance?
Well, I started a typical beginning 4-year-old taking ballet, growing up in ballet, adding modern and jazz in my teen years. I progressed to UC Irvine for a year, and then I just said, I'm going to join a dance company. So I left, joined the Don McHale Inner City Company, and traveled all over the United States with them for 6 years, and then moved to New York, danced with the Alvin Ailey Repertory Ensemble, Joyce Trissler, a couple other companies. And then I came back to back to California, and went back to UCSB, finished my BA, finished my master's, and have been teaching there ever since.
At UCSB?
Yes.
Oh, that's fabulous. And what would you say, it's kind of like asking somebody who their favorite child is, but what would be your favorite style or genre of dance if you had to pick one or two?
Well, I wouldn't pick, because I have always been the most interested in a broad spectrum of dance, a versatile, I like ballet, modern, jazz, contemporary equally. I don't have a favorite. I'm sorry.
That's okay. And that's fair, because like I said, it's kind of like picking your favorite child or your or something.
Right.
It's kind of difficult
Right.
to do that. So what was it like for you then this last year during the shutdown? I know for a lot of dancers and performing arts folk, it was quite a difficult year. How was the year during the shutdown for you?
Very challenging. When we shut down last March, a year and a quarter ago, I really actually considered retiring, because the challenge of moving to online was pretty big for me anyway. And somehow we managed to make it work. Then in the fall, I was able to move into the studio and teach part-time in the studio, but Zooming, which was another big challenge, to try to learn repertory through the Zoom. I think it taught the dancers a skill that will be useful to them as they go on in their career. But all year long, everybody wanted to perform live. That was their heart's desire. And so when we heard from Terry Ball that they were going to open up and do this one performance for our students, that's going to be the only one for the whole year, in the theater with a live audience, with live dancers, it was just like I don't know, Christmas all in one day.
I was just
really
going to say Christmas. It probably
yeah.
was. Yeah. Absolutely. So tell us about the piece UCSB Dance Company in Flight and on Film. How did that all come about?
Well, I was mentioning to, I didn't realize we were not on yet, but I direct a dance company at UCSB of senior dance majors. And we learn repertory from different guest artists and then perform throughout the year. And in the spring, we travel to Europe we went 9 times. And our 10th anniversary tour was canceled due to the pandemic. And yet my job is to direct a performing dance company. So looking forward to this year, beginning in September, I was at a loss what to do. I knew that we wouldn't be able to perform. So somehow the concept of doing a film, I mean, I know dance films where people were doing it, but doing a film that was really a dance film as opposed to a special effect film with some dancers in it was what I wanted to do. And all summer I was envisioning it. I would fall asleep thinking about it. All the scenes were, conceptualized in my mind before we even started filming. And then in the fall, I started filming with the dancers. We had a couple of guest choreographers. One in this film set a piece through Zoom, and then we scouted locations and filmed it outside at Elings Park amongst the trees. In addition, I had each dancer create a little solo of their own choreography and write a piece of text. And then in the film, I wove them together, their choreography and the text, which worked out really well. Their feelings about the pandemic. And so that's kind of a big portion of the film, kind of their personal story. And then it ends with the guest choreographer's work being filmed outside. And then the very final part is what I choreographed, which is a short piece that shows them dancing off into the sunset, into the water at the beach, just taking flight. Basically, that's where the flight comes from.
Oh, okay. And that's how the piece ends in the film. Very cool. Nice. Oh, I like that. It sounds lovely. And by the way, I'm speaking with Delila Moseley. She is with the UCSB Dance Company, and their film is called UCSB Dance Company in Flight and on Film, and it will be shown on Saturday, June 19th at 7 p.m. During the festival. Again, Saturday, June 19th, 7 p.m. And if you want to check it out and any other of the programs during the festival, you can log on to centerstagetheater.org. That's centerstagetheater.org. And you can reserve your ticket there online. And all the information about the festival is available on the website, centerstagetheater.org. And then, Delila, tell us, what are some of the other pieces that you're involved in that will be at the festival?
Well, we were so pleased with the film. I finished it in January that we decided to work with 2 other choreographers, though we had actually started that process before, and film those pieces. So Josh Mankiewicz has worked with us before, and he set a piece called Ride that was a former piece he had done. And we filmed it on the parking garage, the top of the parking garage outside, because we were not allowed to do anything indoors. So our whole year we had to do things outside. So we found this location up on the top of the parking garage, 22, and filmed his piece there. And then Gianna Burrett, so that piece will be shown that evening. No, I'm wrong. That piece will be shown live on Saturday. On one of the other nights, it will be done as a film. So we're showing our pieces both on film and live on different nights, which is a great opportunity. We also invited Gianna Burrett, who is an alumna from the UCSB Dance Department, to create a work, which is a little bit different than setting a work. So she created from the beginning with the dancers over Zoom. She never saw them in person until we filmed it, which was quite an experience. But she worked with them very individually and used some of their movement to create this beautiful piece called Effort of Hope. And then we filmed that. We filmed that at the back of the library at UCSB. So the big main library in the back, it's a big concrete space. Again, we couldn't film indoors, so we filmed it out there. And so that will be shown on one of the, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, which night that's being done, but we're performing it live on the 19th. Nice. So we're doing that. And we have another piece, Nancy Colahan, faculty member for many years in the department at UCSB, created a solo again over Zoom that will be performed by one of the dancers, Sophia Whitecap, on this evening. So I think we have five things on this.
Pieces all together.
Yeah. Check out his website for all the details. But those are the pieces we'll be performing either live or on film during this festival.
Nice. And exactly, all this information is on the website on centerstagetheater.org. I believe if you click on the blog tab, it'll give you all the details about the festival and who's performing when and where. And it's a 4-night event, and each night is a different program, kind of a themed program, sort of. The first night is, of course, our dance films. And then I forget what the other 3 nights are called. There's a gaucho night that a lot of the UCSB students will be featured on that night. But if you want to attend the entire festival or just one program or a couple of them, you can certainly do so. And all that information is on the website, centerstagetheater.org. Again, that's centerstagetheater.org. And of course, click on the blog tab and you can see all the details about the festival on the blog as well. So Delila, tell us, regarding the film, UCSB Dance Company in Flight and on Film, what are you hoping the audience takes away from that piece once they've seen it?
Well, I actually have shown it. We did a webinar premiere in April 29th, and the reactions, so some people have seen it, though I'm sure there many more people hopefully will see it. An insight to what the students experienced. I mean, everybody had their own experience of the pandemic, but dance students were not able to do what they do. They couldn't come into a studio or a theater and move. So you'll see, if you're not a dancer and don't know what's like, you'll see the dancers in little tiny spaces, in their kitchen, in their bedroom, trying to do dance, in a modified form. And the frustration and kind of at that time really despair that they were experiencing, and how that transitioned and transformed through the time as things got better and as they were able to dance outside and dance in different spaces, how it changed their feelings and their state of mind, really, and they're giving them an optimistic outlook by the end of the film is what I'm hoping to portray.
Oh, that's great. So so a little bit of optimism, even though to go through such the year that it was with the pandemic and trying to do normal life, but without being in contact with anybody. I mean, what an incredible year for all of us to go through, but then to have the optimism at the end. And I think that's great that there is that element at the end of the film, and hopefully the audience will pick up on that. That would be wonderful. So tell us about some of the other pieces that you had mentioned, especially some of the live ones that are going to be featured at the festival.
Well, we did not know that we would be able to perform them live. I mean, we were hoping, but we didn't know. But I wanted, again, the dancers to have the experience of learning a piece and, performing in the studio or performing it, outside the back door of the studio, because if you're a dancer, you just have to dance. There's just no other thing to do. You have to move, you have to dance. I mean, many other courses probably transition to being online much more easily. Academic classes, dance history classes, you could study and you could take your tests and you could, pass a course and get grades and all of that. And it was okay, probably not as wonderful as being in person, but the dancers, I was trying to give them the experience of moving fully and moving energetically and moving the piece Ride is, it's very fast and it's very intricate movement, and they're very close together, and it's to build kind of this feeling of energy. And I think that they perform it very, very well. It's just like a little explosion kind of short piece called Ride. And we were able to set lights at center stage. And so it has the right lighting effect, which again, amplifies the choreography and the movement. The solo that Nancy Colahan choreographed, she was not teaching in person. She was teaching in her living room, lovely living room looking over the ocean, 9 by 12. And so her her choreography was created within this 9x12 box, basically. And she did a whole series of solos called Pandemic Dances and taught to some to dancers in other cities. And she created this piece on a graduate and set it on our dancer called There Is No Other. Beautiful little piece, very full movement. And in translating it to the stage, I've tried to start with the effect of being enclosed in a little space, and then the space opens and opens and opens and opens until the dancer can move fully and freely. Kind of the same idea of the release of an optimism of coming out of that box.
Oh, wow. That sounds visually stunning. And just imagining it, just imagining it sounds like that sounds like a wonderful piece.
Yeah, I'll just say Gianna's piece, the third piece, because she really put her heart into it. She conversed with the dancers, and again, the same kind of idea, trying to get a feeling of where they were emotionally. And so they contributed movement phrases, and she wove it all together, had music composed for it by Shio Tepper. So it was original music composed for the piece. So that makes it special also. And interweaving the feelings or concept of the same kind of thing, being frustrated and in despair, and finding hope in connection with other people, and where that can take you as we come out of the pandemic.
Nice. Very cool.
Hope.
Nice. Well, Delila, we're almost out of time, but before we go, is there any 411 information that we should put out, websites or social media handles, anything like that we should give out to the listeners?
Well, you've been giving out the Center Stage website. I don't know that I can rattle it off like you did. You can also check out Department of Theater and Dance at UCSB website. There's a lot of information on that website as well. I don't think this performance is up there, but it talks about the company and the department, and like further information about the dance company and the dance department as a whole.
Nice. Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And again, if you want to check out the UCSB, the Gaucho Night, I think they're calling it, is, I believe, on Saturday, the 19th. Yes. And it's UCSB Dance Company, and it's UCSB Dance Company in flight and on film. Also, There Is No Other, just to name a few of the pieces. And those will be shown on Saturday, June 19th at 7 p.m. But if you want to check out the entire festival, of course, we would love to have you do that. And you can get your tickets at centerstagetheater.org. Again, that's centerstagetheater.org. And also click on the blog tab. Be sure to do that as well, so you can get in-depth information about each of the performers, the various studios, choreographers, etc. All that information is on the blog as well. And you can find it all at centerstagetheater.org. And if you want to know what I'm up to, you can follow my show, Jim on the Air, and it's available on most podcast platforms: Apple Podcast, Anchor.fm, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcast, just to name a few. And the show is called Jim on the Air. And of course, it's on social media as well, on Instagram and on Facebook. And Delila, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today, and continued success with UCSB Dance Company and all your endeavors. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And again, everybody, be sure to check out centerstagetheater.org, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.